Now, let me conclude this presentation with excerpts from a telephone conversation I had with Nancy Pearcey around 2009. What prompted me to call Dr. Pearcey was her 2005 Gold Medallion Award book, Total Truth. Many thanks to Dr. Pearcey for granting this interview and for allowing me to record it for the benefit of others, which now includes you.
Chief of Staff came up to me and he said, a lot of the Christian young people who come to Washington feel guilty about their interest in politics. And this was a big surprise to me. I didn't know exactly what he meant because I think most of the people around the country think the young people who come to Washington must be very special and very lucky to have a chance to be here. And he said, no, they feel guilty. And I asked him what he meant. He said, well, they feel if they were really committed to God, they wouldn't be here. They'd be in ministry. Many of these young people came from Christian colleges. They've been educated from a Christian perspective, but they still were operating under the sacred, secular distinction where working in politics was still part of the secular world, and it wasn't as good or wasn't as valuable, wasn't as important to God as working in the ministry. And so what I would suggest is that most of them don't have a Christian worldview. If you had a Christian worldview, you would understand that you would have a sense of vocation, that working in politics, working in business, working in education, the arts, science, whatever, that all of these are also ways in which we serve God and we express our worship to God because they're ways that we obey the cultural mandate.
What do you think is the solution to this problem? How can we help young people, Christian young people, to keep from feeling guilty going into politics?
Well, we have to attack it at the root, and I do think the root is the very idea of a sacred-secular split. And we've grown up with the idea that certain things are more spiritual, more pleasing to God than other things. Now, anything that God created is good. What's bad is sin. We are called to separate ourselves from sin, but we are called into every area that God has created. Working in that area is the way we obey the cultural mandate, which is rooted in Genesis. Right? In Genesis, you get God's first job description to the human race when he says, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. To subdue the earth means to harness the natural resources. So it means all the things that we do that involve some sort of material, whether it's planting crops and building bridges, running factories, and even producing music.
Right.
So subdue the earth means that we are actually called, as part of God's original creation mandate, we are called to work with the world that he's created and bring out its hidden potentials.